Hello, Leslie Davis here again with another Earth Protector show. And guess who's with me? You got it, Kelvin Burns, in the flesh. There he is.
How you doing, Minneapolis?
Hey, Kelvin. Good to see you again.
Good
Kelvin and I work pretty well together. You know, we get some good cooperation, and we're going to see what happens as I move towards my campaign for governor. You think I'll make a good governor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
A lot better than the governor that we have.
Yeah, well, he did okay with the money balance in the budget, but don't forget, the economy's been pretty good, so the taxes have been pouring in, so they got all kinds of billions of dollars. They got $1.4 billion sitting in a big pot. Why don't they give that money back to the people? You know?
That would be a good idea.
Yeah, well, you know my idea about the State Board of Investment sitting with over $80 billion. They could chip off 10 or 20 billion and give all the people in Minnesota $3,000-$4,000 each. That'd be good.
They could.
Got a family of four and you get a check in the door, $12,000, $14,000, $16,000, pretty nice. Where's all the money? Where's all the wealth of America? They're not doing, you know, what you talk about, the reparations one time, and I've been giving that some thought, because, you know, they gave reparations to the Japanese for World War II and the Indians for some stuff, but they never did it for the black people. And I always wondered how you would determine who gets reparations. How would you do that?
Well, we spoke on that before. I was asking for each black man in America to receive reparation.
But wouldn't you have to identify that person as a black person or an African American person? I mean, how do you decide?
Well, that's the thing about African American. We're not going to get anything on African American. No such people.
So how do you get it? How are you going to decide who gets the reparations? People of color?
Well, the blacks over here in North America, the native blacks of this land.
Yeah, and how are we going to determine that, the native blacks of this land?
Well,
to send them a check.
You can send me that check.
Okay, so
would
we
turn
don't
it
have an answer for that.
Oh, we have an answer.
But you're not going to give it to me or something?
All the black Americans, anybody that's been over here and suffered pain and suffering.
Yeah. Well, they haven't had any pain and suffering. It was the
plenty of pain and suffering, 400 years of it.
ancestors have had it.
Well, we still suffering from the backlash of our ancestors.
Okay, well,
I can't even walk down the street without a police looking crazy.
Uh-huh.
And that's the backlash. So we still suffering pain and suffering, just like the little brother that got killed back in the summer.
With Castillo?
Castillo, yeah. So
what's happening with that? They're trying the cop.
Well,
he's been suspended and he's on trial for something.
Right, but he says he pleaded not guilty, and it's evidence that he's guilty. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think he's gonna get away with it.
Uh-huh. He shot him.
Yeah, he shot
in the car. Shot him in the car,
right?
Because he thought he was reaching for a gun or something like that.
Gun. And I'm gonna say this. He said the guy was high off marijuana. Most people that's high off marijuana are not aggressive. They lean, you know, they mellow. Right. So he was, you know, to say that he was high off marijuana, he was aggressive is a lie. Marijuana makes people calm, and
he wasn't aggressive. I've seen the videos of the things.
Right,
he wasn't aggressive
at all.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens with that. But with the governor campaign coming up, November, you know, this is now March, April, May, June, July, August. We got 6-7 months to organize and get the campaign going. But my whole big deal is going to be about money. Where's the money? How we're going to get it distributed to the people? We're all okay. Everybody wants good education and good children and good diet and all that. So we don't have to talk about that because we know what a good diet is. And a good diet is not fast food, high salt, fructose crap at the fast food place.
Right, correct.
So I want to talk about money, no fluoride in the water.
Okay.
Well, because that's like forced medication on the people. They say that we're going to put fluoride in the water whether you like it or not. Well, I don't want fluoride in my water. Well, then don't drink it. I said, yeah, but you bathe in it. You got to wash your hair in it. You got to wash your dishes. You do your laundry, and all that fluoride comes off into the clothes or into the. And what fluoride does, you could go to the Earth Protector, because that's who we are. We're the Earth Protector Party. Let me hold up my T-shirt here.
All right.
You had those black T-shirts you sent up to the guys in Michigan.
To the brothers in Michigan.
One of them got it.
2.
They got it?
Yes.
Okay.
The protector shirts.
So let them know. Maybe we could get a picture. It'd be nice to have a picture from the guys in Michigan. So this is the Earth Protector logo. Can we get a little shot of that? That's the Earth Protector logo. And when you see that, you know that you can vote for the candidates that are registered in the Earth Protector Party.
Those more Melanic brothers wanted shirts. They really like those shirts, especially the.
Especially since they don't have to pay for it.
Well, maybe we might have to start charging. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I got this dress coming, and some of the T-shirts. But I like to get the T-shirts out there. You got a couple of more guys up in Michigan that
like
want
shirts.
a T-shirt?
Yeah.
What size they want? The last ones we sent were 2XL.
Large, small.
Small?
Medium.
You wouldn't have small for
Well, we have some small brothers.
really?
Yeah.
Small is a little bitty shirt.
Well-
I wear an extra large.
Right.
And I'm a little guy.
One more thing. It's funny that we was talking about the water. We know about Flint, Michigan. The water in Flint was poisoned.
Lead, right, yeah.
Now, Detroit has a recent alert. They're telling the people in Detroit to boil the water because some of the water is contaminated a little bit.
Boil the water. Well,
boil
boiling the water it won't deal with lead and fluoride and stuff like that. It might deal with bacteria in the water. That might be helpful. I don't know.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody from Detroit a couple of days ago, and they said it's been an alert. They're telling the people in Detroit to boil the water.
Don't your family live in Detroit, or they live outside Detroit?
They live in Detroit. My father lived in Detroit. The rest of the family live outside Detroit.
Uh-huh. So what does he think about the water and all that stuff that's going on over there?
Well, I haven't really talked to him about it. I was talking to some more friends of mine
Uh-huh.
about the water.
You would think that people be up in arms about saying, you put fluoride in my water without my permission? And Davis says, a candidate for governor, that the fluoride damages the brains of the children and the people. There's a gland in the brain in the center, the pineal gland. The pine is like the pine tree, Pineal.
Okay.
Pineal gland in the brain is affected by fluoride. And we got enough studies and reports about it. But when you go to testify, like at the legislature, the forces for fluoride are so powerful, the dental associations and the dental community, and they all come out in the health department, they all come out in favor of it. So the politicians, they're not going to go with Leslie Davis against the health department and the dental association. So you get the fluoride in your water.
Right. Well, maybe that's why some of these youngsters are behaving like they behaving. Maybe it is the fluoride in the water that cause people to act kind of crazy. I mean, you think?
There's no question about it. That fluoride, there's studies that they have from all over the world, a lot of them from China, that the fluoride causes damage to the brain.
Okay.
Whether it makes them violent or not, I don't really know the answer to that. But we need to go to court and ask the court to stop the fluoride in the water, because I've already tried it with legislation with Senator Champion, not your favorite candidate or senator, but he's been pretty nice to me, returns my calls and stuff like that. So maybe we'll have to go to court and see what to do about that. But I want to run for this race in the Earth Protector Party. I was in the DFL, but they're not nice to me. They don't want Leslie Davis because they can't control me. So what do you think about that, moving into the governor's mansion? Here's the sign.
It would be a beautiful thing.
Davis for governor. Wouldn't that really be something? If Donald Trump could make it as president, I don't want to compare myself to him, but just let you know that you never know who can
Win.
win.
It's a possibility.
They got 20 people running for governor, maybe 15, 20 different people. You got Kurt Dowd, the Speaker of the House, and you got Tina Smith, who's the Lieutenant Governor, and the Constitution Party, the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, all these people going to run candidates.
But the thing is, we need a governor that knows the people,
Right.
that's familiar with the people. Not somebody that's lived all the way out in the suburbs or all the way out and don't know the people. You need a governor that knows the people.
Well, that's me. I live in the heart of the city. I ride the bus with them. I know what's going on.
Right.
I know that if you have a child in school and they're in second, third, fourth grade, whatever grade it is, before they can move on, they have to show that they're qualified in the previous grade. So they said, well, there's a stigma if you leave them back. I said, well, I don't know how you're going to handle it, but you have to evaluate each child to determine where they're going to go or where they're going to be in the educational structure. Why try to teach a foreign language or chemistry or mathematics to a kid that's not willing
Able.
to learn that kind of? That
Right.
might be more for mechanics or other trades, so we could come out of school, make a living. You know, you can have a kid by the time he goes to high school at 13 years old, by the time he's 16, he could become an excellent craftsman or a plumber or electrician or a metallurgist or something. He doesn't necessarily have to have a standard high school diploma.
Well, we have to invest more in the kids. We're not investing enough in the kids.
Well, more money doesn't mean better. I mean, they're getting a lot of money. I mean, I don't know that if you saw a particular area where money needed to go, I would support that. But I don't think it's really. As a matter of fact, you'd need less money if you had the child in the particular course of study appropriate for him or her.
Right.
They
But
won't be as restless. They'll be more cooperative.
but also proper dieting.
Yeah.
Proper dieting,
Well,
a lot
that
of schooling.
a lot of that guidance will come at home. But when the kid comes to school, they have to be in a course of study that they're enjoying or they're liking or that they're able to learn. If a kid is having difficulty with, get him out of that mathematics. Get him out of that English. I mean, what is a kid going to study? English history and all of that might not be appropriate for that person. So that's what I'm saying. And I want to talk about the justice system. You know, a very important function of the governor is the appointment of judges.
Okay.
So, not federal judges, but you got the judges in the state, all the county judges, the Court of Appeals, the Supreme Court, and I think that we need another look at how we determine who becomes a judge, because that's a club. They got the lawyers that become a judge, and then their friends are lawyers and appear before the judge. So a guy like you or me that comes to court with an issue, if you go up against some big company like I did against Disney or Macy's or Hennepin County, you don't have much of a chance against them. The judge is not going to look down favorably at you, especially if you're representing yourself.
What that goes to saying it's about rich and poor, and the rich gonna stick with the rich.
Yeah, but when you're a judge, you're supposed to judge fairly. You're not supposed to make a determination that this is the Disney Corporation represented by the Dorsey Whitney Law Firm against Leslie Davis, represented by independent lawyer Nathan Bush. That was the scenario at one time or a number of years ago. And the judge ruled against us unfairly. So we went to the Court of Appeals and we told the Court of Appeals, hey, look at this. And they have a difficult time overturning the lower court. So they supported him. No, they say he didn't make a mistake by what he did. So we went to the United States Supreme Court and they hear very few cases. We told them to hear our case, or asked them to, because I thought it was unique. Trademark infringement of our name by the Disney Corporation in a really dumbass garbage movie that they made. And the Supreme Court wouldn't hear our case.
Well, they owe you some money.
Well, they only want to hear cases of national significance. I said, well, this is trademark infringement of a movie in a specific thing. But when you got a little guy like Davis represented with an unknown lawyer against the Disney Corporation, actually one of the biggest corporations in America, represented by the Dorsey Whitney Law Firm, also one of the biggest law firms in America. What chance the little guy going to have? But I thought we had a chance because we had a real good case. They just flat out stole the logo, and I am registered. Our logo is registered with the United States Trademark Office. So when you see it on a shirt, on a backpack, on a garment, or on our campaign against fluoride or Davis for governor, I got our flag popping up. Davis for governor, 2018. That'd be terrific. All right, so what's going on in the community? You got something that we need to know about in the community? I haven't heard about any hassle. The police haven't been hassling anybody. I think they've backed off a bit. Do you think recently?
Well, it haven't been as much trouble as it hasn't been as much trouble lately. I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything.
On that end, or from the people? Do you think the people are settled down or calm, or are people upset?
They're still upset.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I was looking at something on a TV the other day about this guy, the police that killed
Philando Castile.
Yes, Castile,
Uh-huh.
and he pleaded not guilty. And
The cop did.
The cop did, and we know that cop is guilty of sin.
Uh-huh.
But I don't believe they're going to charge that policeman.
Okay, well, we'll find out. We'll find out about that. We'll see if the justice system is working for everybody.
Well, we know the justice system is not going to work for everybody. Justice just for us. you know. I don't have no faith in the justice system.
Okay. Well, we are. I got my little note on this. I made up these little cards, even the last time I ran for governor, and then I could stick them on seats and bring them on the bus with me on the rail, start getting them around town a little bit. So that's my card. Leslie Davis for governor. You know anybody that might be a good lieutenant governor candidate that I could bring on board with me? No.
A few people.
Yeah?
Few people.
That understand the system and,
Oh yeah,
uh-huh.
few people. Educated people.
Educated person of color or a white person, what kind of, that might have a little something to do with it. Be interesting to run with a person of color as a lieutenant governor.
That would be a good idea.
If they're qualified, the case that they say the lieutenant governor, he just kind of waits in the wings for the governor to die. And then, that's like the vice president of the United States, this guy, Mike Pence.
Okay.
He just hanging out in case the president dies. He's going to step in.
Well, people like Trump don't die too soon.
Yeah, he's going to live a while.
Yeah, he probably lived to be 100 years old.
What do you think? How do you think he's doing in his job so far? How do you think is? Did he appoint that black gentleman? What was his name that was running for president? And he appointed him the housing and urban development guy. I forget his name.
I forgot his name also. I know.
Because whenever you see the Trump bunch, they're all just white old men, the Trump group.
Right.
Bunch of white old men making a decision. Well, that's where the money is, really. But I don't know why they don't have more black people. They got a lot of black women, I think, in the movement, but not a lot of black men. Donald Trump, the Donald. In the 70s, there wasn't enough cocaine in New York City to fill up his beak.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I used to when I'd go to New York in the 70s, that was my hometown. I'd visit from Minnesota, go to Studio 54 with my friends, and that was kind of the years I was just coming out of a divorce, and those were the years of disco.
Okay.
Yeah. And Trump, he banged every cute girl in New York, and the ones he couldn't get, he bought those beauty contests. So he had just armies of women available to him. So that's what he was all about. And now he's talking about interfering in the states' rights with marijuana legalization. He and his group, they don't like that.
Well, Trump is a whole lot hypocritical. I was going to say a little hypocritical, but he's a big hypocrite. He don't want Mexicans in the country, and Mexicans are not foreigners. But his wife is a foreigner.
Well, but he says, he didn't say no Mexicans, he's saying illegal immigrant that came into the country illegally, jumped the fence or something.
But there's no such thing as an illegal alien. No such thing.
Immigrants.
Mexicans are not immigrants. We talked about that.
Okay.
But his wife is a foreigner. She don't even look right being the first lady. She's from Russia.
Slovenia.
Russia, one of them.
It's the same thing. Over
Right,
there,
but I'm saying he's being hypocritical. This is just my opinion. If a president of the United States, his wife should be from the United States.
Well,
Okay? You shouldn't be able to marry. No, I mean we're going to keep it real. You don't want Mexicans in the country. Well, then, like I said, the first lady shouldn't be a foreigner.
well, they say the president of the United States can't be immigrant, has to be American born. That was Trump's big fight with Obama. He was saying Obama wasn't born in America. He was.
Well, President Obama is a Muslim. He didn't admit it, but President Obama is a Muslim.
Yeah.
Just like Keith Ellison is a Muslim.
Uh-huh. Keith Ellison didn't win that.
He wasn't going to win because
I said he wasn't going to win that chairmanship.
right, because he denounced Farrakhan so he could get a better position. He thought he was going to get that position, but I knew he wasn't going to get the position. Because once you're in an organization like the Nation of Islam or the Melanics or the Moor Science Temple, these people are not going to accept you.
But he was part of the Farrakhan movement,
He was part of the Nation of Islam.
so he turned against them because it's politically beneficial.
He denounced Farrakhan because he thought he was going to get a better position, but those people showed him. So he denounced him. He was a member of the Nation of Islam.
And he denounced him because
Yes.
it was interfering with his getting the chairmanship.
Right, but those people are not crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, you can denounce the Nation of Islam. He still was a Muslim even after leaving the Nation of Islam. They don't like Muslims, period. So you could be a Nation of Islam, a Melanic Muslim. You can be a Moor Science Temple, a 5%, anything that has something to do with Islam. They're not going to accept that.
Right.
I mean, they act like they're going to accept it, but but I don't see the difference between Islam and Judaism. I really don't see this. I don't see the difference.
Well, I don't know. The difference is the violence of the Jews don't call for that. The behavior towards women. That they cover them up or they circumcise the women.
I will say this.